This is not your mother's middle-aged. No longer is waking up each day, living the wash, rinse, and repeat cycle acceptable. We have the life lessons, the relationships, the wins, and the losses with which to navigate to our highest self, without hesitation and without fear leading the way. We have been there and done that, and so we have so much to offer the world and each other. So join me on this journey, speaking to ordinary women doing extraordinary things for new insights, new ideas, new medical breakthroughs, and new life lessons. You will be inspired to find your best life here and now. My name is Wendy Charles Maguire, and this is your Second Wind podcast. Welcome today to Second Wind, the podcast. I have a fabulous woman. Again, I say that all the time, but they all are, and they all bring something so unique to the table. Today, I'm bringing Deb Podlogar. Think of lager as in beer. Kind of interesting that that's how we say your name. She's a mother, she's a wife who through a series of events became sober curious, which in turn brought us this fantastic thing she does on Instagram called mocktail.mom. And I don't know, I got fed some of these things and I was like, oh, she is awesome. She's a little firecracker. We need to get her on. Why is this going on? Why is she doing Mocktail Mom? So I sent a little message and you so graciously sent one back, and here we are. Yay. And I love how that just organically happens.
Yep.
And of course, there is a good story here and lots of lessons for us to learn. This is the third woman we've been speaking to on Second Wind, the podcast, about our alcohol habit. And I was just telling Deb in the beginning before we started, I don't think I could be alcohol free right now if I didn't have options like you show people of the non-alcoholic wines. And I got through the holidays with my non-alcoholic bubbly, and it was great. And if I didn't have that, I would have felt like I was missing something. And with Lyme disease, I can't have alcohol. Mm-hmm. So truth be told, probably this was supposed to happen. So I had to not have alcohol in my life. But then we have people like you to make it easier.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
You.
And I don't necessarily agree. There's different values and different ideas about it and mindsets about it where you don't want to replace one habit with another. So there's the psychological part of it, the mindset part of it, all these things that we can all address. But I think it's also important to say, what the heck? Why can't we have the thing that makes us feel like an adult and gives us a reason to sit and chat and not feel like we're missing out?
Totally.
I totally appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. And I think, for some people, a mocktail or a non-alcoholic cocktail or whatever you want to call it can be a trigger, and so if it is a trigger, if an alcohol-free wine is a trigger, obviously, you don't want to be drinking that if it's going to trigger you to want to go, if you're trying to stay away from alcohol. But for me,
that makes you go back. Yeah.
For me, it was the exact opposite. It kept me from going back to my wine, my habit. I needed a replacement. I needed something that felt like an adult cocktail or felt like an adult drink. I didn't want to be drinking a Shirley Temple and, tonic water for the rest of my life,
Yeah. I totally agree with you. And I appreciate that. So now we've brought we're bringing three different approaches to this topic, which is so huge, especially for us women in our second wind. So Let's start, Deb. Let's start with that moment. You described it to me as this snowball of things, and there was a lot of things, and no one can fault you. So let's talk about
and
that.
I think that's a lot. I think, I'm 50, and I think there's a lot of women like me, who wine became something to help soften the edges of the rough things that happen in life. For me, it helped me to numb from the pain of going through a divorce. Was probably the first thing. My daughter had been very sick when she was little. So it was almost like post-traumatic stress. After she was better and in remission and healthy, Like we had spent like 160 nights in the hospital when she was 7 on a pediatric oncology unit. I mean, so there were a lot of hard things. I had breast cancer and both my parents passed away. So like many women out there at my age, our age, go through really hard things. And wine became slowly, didn't start out that way, but slowly it kind of became like my companion, my
Yeah.
BFF, and it helped soften those edges. And then eventually it just helped not help, but it numbed and dulled my entire life. Because when you're numbing the pain of life, you're also numbing the joy. You are
Mm.
numbing out on everything, and I was numbing out on everything. I would be at an event with my kids and I'd be thinking, oh, when I get home, I'll have wine. I wasn't even enjoying being present because I was thinking, do I have wine at home? What's at home? And I was missing life. So anyway,
Yeah.
nothing to numb
Yeah.
out of, even the hard things, we have to you're going to have to go through it at some point,
Right.
there's no way around the hard stuff in life. So anyway.
Absolutely. That's a big point. So you were laying in bed when this happened, this moment when you were like, enough is
Mm,
enough? Where were you? Because was it December 31st?
Yeah, so I haven't had a drink. I haven't had any alcohol. I've had wine, but alcohol-free wine, which actually I keep finding better and better ones.
Ooh, share.
Because
Yeah, share at the end.
yeah, I've got a whole list probably. I should have wrote it down before I got on.
We'll get it.
Yeah, I memean, for me, it wasn't like one event. It wasn't like I didn't have a rock bottom. I didn't have, an event to broadcast it to the world. It was like the snowball of feeling like crap every
Mm.
morning, waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, dizzy, thinking like, oh my gosh, I did it again. Instead of just having one glass, because it always started out like, I'm just gonna have a glass, I'm just gonna have a glass, I'm just gonna have a glass of wine, I'm making dinner, I'm gonna have a glass of wine, or I'm microwaving dinner, whatever I'm doing or we're not making dinner, whatever we're doing. But
Right.
for me, it was just that habit. So it was like, I was just so sick of waking up and not feeling good. I was coming up on my 50th birthday, and I felt like this is not who God created me to be. I am not living how I know he created me to be. And that was it. It wasn't, there was no rock bottom. It was just like, I cannot live like this. I do not want to live the second half of my life
Mm.
in a numbed out zone,
Mm-hmm.
he has more for me. So I'm so grateful. I mean, to say that there are no words for the joy and the peace that I have since breaking up with alcohol.
That's so interesting that you
It's
say
been
that
the
because
best breakup ever.
yeah, because I think now I look back, now that I've been out of alcohol for quite a while now, a few months, 4 months, 5 months or something, I
Mhm.
don't even know. I'm like, wow, I would have gotten home 15 minutes later because I would have had to go to this store to get the wine so I could have it at the house. And, I'm not, my son brought wine when we were together in Pennsylvania. And he's like, don't you want wine, Mom? I'm going to the liquor store. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I
Yeah.
really don't. And
Yeah.
for a minute I was panicked. I'm like, oh God, we're going to sit around in our little cabin. There's nothing to do. It's cold as heck outside. We always used to have an alcoholic
Right.
evening together,
Sure.
not getting
Right. But
shitty or anything.
just that's how you relax.
I said, just get me some fake wine if they have it.
Yeah. That's
And they
awesome.
did.
Oh,
And
that's
it
awesome.
worked.
Good. Oh, that's so great. That's so great. And I think the thing that, I fell into that trap of like, oh, I won't have any fun if I'm not drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
I won't have any fun. I won't be able to relax. I won't be able to go to the party, be at the girls' event. And that's just a lie. It's just a lie.
It is a lie.
It's a lie. And it's like, my life is so fun and so filled. And so my creativity is like, opened up because I can think about other things besides, am I stopping for wine? Will that lady think I'm an alcoholic if I stop at that store again? When was the last time I was there? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm not the
Yeah.
only mom who's thought that, like
Absolutely
I'm not the
not.
only mom who's like, the lady at Costco wine shop, she recognizes me. This is not good. Like when she's like, hey, how are you?
Yeah. It'd be the ladies'
This
night
is
at my summer house.
embarrassing.
Yeah. It's at my summer house. And then everybody brings their wine, their bottle of wine. And at the end, and everybody's gone, food too. And when everybody's gone, you're like, oh my God.
Oh,
look at how many empty bottles of wine.
Yeah.
This collection of not that many women drank.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had so many corks, the corks. I mean, I was saving them. I was going to make crafts with them. I don't know what I was going to do. I could have wallpapered the entire house with corks. By the
Yeah.
time I was done, I threw them all
Yeah.
away. I didn't do anything with them. I was like, I'm throwing these away. They're leaving.
I'm sure there are many women listening who are shaking their heads like, oh yeah, oh yeah, that's true. So let's go,
Yeah.
let's dive back a little bit. Who is
Okay.
Deb? Who are you?
Who am I? Just a mom, just a little mom. And I live in Kentucky. I didn't grow up here. I grew up outside Philadelphia, had the most amazing parents. I mean, I literally, like, I used to tell people, and it's true, like the worst thing that happened to me as a child was we had to eat peas at dinner table. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, it just
So a very lovely
really,
quintessential
and it's
childhood.
not, yeah, that's not, I mean, I had both of my parents kind of came from difficult, I would say backgrounds, different difficulties. And it was almost like God just took two negatives and made a positive. Like they were just the
Oh,
most
wow.
wholesome, loving, kind, caring, encouraging parents. I won the lottery. So like when people say like, some people say like, I want to win the lottery. I'm like, I literally feel like I won the lottery. Like I had the most
Oh,
amazing parents. I have children that are healthy. Yeah, I've won. Yeah.
that's
But anyway, yeah, so that's
awesome.
me. Yeah, so I'm very entrepreneurial. I grew up like, if there was a snow day in Philly, I'd wake up and I'd be so excited because I'd be like, sweet, I'm going to go, snowplow the neighbor's driveway and, go down the street and make $100 today. So I've been very entrepreneurial since I was a kid. So I sell stuff and tchotchkes but that's kind of what I do in my whatever you call it, my job. My company is like
Yeah.
I do logo stuff. So that's my main job.
That's your
But
main job. Yeah.
yeah,
So what
yeah.
do you do? Because it seems like you do so much for this Instagram. I still am having problem. I did a
Are
post
you?
yesterday and the stupid
Uh,
words didn't show up. And everybody's like, what
oh,
is
I
that?
hate that.
I'm
Oh, I
like,
hate
oh,
it's okay. That is the most frustrating thing when you like make a reel or you spend time on it and then you post it and then it like doesn't like the lip syncing isn't right. And I'm like, okay, I don't care. I'm not redoing it. I
yeah, I
refuse to
didn't do
redo
that.
any of them because it's like, you know what? Nobody cares.
In the end,
And in
it's
the
really
end,
not a
nobody
big deal.
cares. It doesn't matter. It's
It's
Instagram.
true.
Just have
Well,
fun.
let's talk because you did have a series of events that brought you to the point where alcohol took more of a position, a front and center position in your life. And I mean, these are kind of big events,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So let's start with where that all kind of started. Would you say it's when your daughter was sick?
Yeah. And it wasn't like when she was sick at the time. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't I wasn't in a
At the
place where
time you weren't,
yeah,
right.
alcohol had no place in my life. I wasn't like a non-drinker. I just could take it or leave it. We had
Mhm.
wine at our house and it was collecting dust. I mean, it wasn't that I
Right.
didn't drink. I just didn't care about it. It had no place in my
Gotcha.
life. So when she was sick, I mean, we were in the hospital and um I
Oh, you
mean,
said she had 107 fever?
oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's would scare the bejesus out of me.
yeah, it's an absolute miracle that she is alive. I'm not joking when I say that. Like she was treated in a clinical trial at the National Institutes of Health, which at the time people didn't really know. Now people know about it because of COVID. Everybody hears about NIH. But it's the mecca of where all these trials are done and come out of and stuff. So anyway, she was treated there. And yeah, I'll never forget the morning the nurse came in to they come around, the nurse comes in, does like almost like rounds or whatever to
Mhm.
do your vital signs, take temperature, all that kind of stuff. And I was asleep on the little couch, and I'll never forget him waking me up and telling me, I can't remember what it was. It was in Celsius because at NIH when they do the temperature, they tell you
Oh,
tell you in Celsius. I can't remember now what it was,
yeah.
but
And then you got to figure it out.
yeah, but I mean, but at the time, I mean, this was now however many years ago, 13 years ago. He and I, well, he knew obviously he's a nurse, but like I was like, we looked at each other like holy crap, like what is going on? So
Right.
yeah, she had double pneumonia and it was horrible, horrible, horrible. So she had aplastic anemia. The disease that she had was aplastic anemia for anybody who's out there. So for anybody who has ever donated blood or platelets, thank you very much. You are a person that literally has helped keep my daughter alive. She lived on donations of platelets and red blood cells for over a year. I mean,
Wow.
she would not be alive if it was not for donations and for just God's healing hand on her life. I mean, it's a miracle. So anyway,
That's
she's healthy and
amazing.
she's a sophomore in college and
Oh, wow.
she's beautiful and just yeah. So to see her like be okay after 107 fever, no brain damage. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Wow. I'm so glad that happened for you when
Anyway,
you got the trial stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it
And that
worked.
trial's now closed. The trial worked. So the treatment that she got has actually been proven that it's the, oh, did I just turn off my volume? Can you
No,
hear me?
you're good. You're good.
What did I do? What did I
I
do?
don't know. What'd you do?
Sorry. I put my hand on this. Sorry. Not a professional, people. No idea what I'm doing. What was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying.
Okay,
Sorry.
it's amazing that, and the trial, it's amazing she's alive, and the
Oh
trial's
yeah. Yeah. And
closed,
the
and
trial's
now it's
closed. Yeah.
approved
It's the
for
actual treatment now. So like it's the standard treatment that she got.
cutting edge. You are cutting edge in all that you
Amazing.
do.
Yeah. That's God's amazing hand on her life. Yeah.
All right,
So
so
grateful.
so keep bringing us through, because then
Okay.
we
So I
have a
had that.
string of events.
Then she got, she was in remission. And then, after that, it was just like post-traumatic stress for me as the mother. Like, what just happened? Like, what just happened?
Yeah.
I had just come home from China with our second daughter, who's adopted from China, right before Hannah got sick. So, I mean, literally 60 days to the day
Yeah, you
before
said
that.
your friend had to take.
Yeah, my
her.
best friend. Yeah, Lily lived with my best friend for almost a year. I mean, on and off. Like whenever I was in the hospital, Lily would be at my best friend's house. Yeah, she used to. My best friend's name is Kim. I'll cry if I start talking about her because
Okay.
she's the best friend everybody should have. But I'll never forget. She said to me, because we had just adopted Lily, and so
From China, and that
from
was
China.
a whole ordeal
Yeah,
that you
was
went
a whole
through.
waiting game, long, long, long process. That was not easy. And
Mhm.
so, those first couple months, my plan was to just be home with Lily, to, not even put her in like the nursery at church or anything, just kind of protect that bubble of bonding. And so when Hannah got sick, it was like, I could not bring her to the pediatric oncology
Right.
unit, to live with me. So she went to Kim's, and I'll never forget Kim saying to me, like she would rock her, in the middle of the night or whatever. When Lily was only a year old. She was a year and 2 months at this point.
Mhm.
So she said, when I rock her, she said sometimes that like she's like, she was so tiny. She was a preemie. So she was like so tiny at a year old. She looked like a 5-month-old probably.
Oh, wow.
So Kim said, I'll rock her and she'll be looking up at me, sucking on her bottle, and she's like, I'll just pray that God would allow her to see your face instead of mine,
Oh.
so that she will continue to bond with you. And she's like, and this is so true. She's like, the God who parted the Red Sea could certainly allow Lily to see your face instead of mine. And it's so true. It's like he's the God of miracles, and he could absolutely do that. And let me just tell you, Lily and I are very bonded. It's like we never missed a beat.
Do you think it happened?
Oh yeah. I mean, I just absolutely like, there's no it's like I've been with her since minute one. Yeah.
Oh
So I'm
my
so thankful.
God.
I'm so thankful. Yeah. So thankful. So anyway, yes.
So you get
Anyway.
home from all this.
Yeah. So there's that. So then I got divorced because it was like, there was a lot of other things going on. Got divorced and moved to
So now you're on your own with
Kentucky.
these two kids.
Yep. We had just
Yep.
moved to Kentucky, and then I got divorced, got separated about 4 months after we moved to Kentucky with my
Oh,
ex-husband.
good, because now you definitely have a rooted support system in
yeah,
Kentucky for
yeah.
this.
Because now I know no one. Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so yeah, that was hard. Yeah. So it was just kind of like, and drinking helped. The girls would go to their dads on the weekends. He stayed here in Kentucky as well. And I would have weekends alone, and it was just like, it was easy. It was nice to have that time to numb out. So
Yeah, sit and watch TV, and it's not as lonely with a glass of wine.
yeah, or a bottle.
Or a bottle.
Yeah, or start with one glass and see where we end up. Yeah.
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 And
So
then
there's
what
that. Yeah.
happened?
Then trying to think. Got remarried about 4 years later, which that's been wonderful. Married my Match.com sweetheart. It's been great. Great husband.
And
And then I guess it was like about a year and a half after we were married, 2 years after we were married, I got breast cancer just from my normal mammogram. They found it, I'm glad they found it. So mammogram, definitely, to all the women out there, go get your girls checked. It saved my
Yeah.
life. Yep. And so I had chemotherapy. Well, I decided to do a double mastectomy, and then I had chemo after that. I didn't have radiation.
and you're still newly married.
Oh yeah, newly married. Well, like a year and a half, 2 years. And then
Yeah.
3 weeks after my double mastectomy, my mom passed away. And then 11 months after that, my dad passed away. And my mom had dementia. My dad had Alzheimer's too, but my mom was a lot further along.
Can we tell the story about the dad thing? Because that just shocks me.
Oh. My dad and I was very close. I had 2 sisters, and we're all very close. And I was very close with my dad. I was very close with my mom too, but my dad had come out here to visit me. So my dad was living in Philadelphia at my sister's house. We'd renovated my sister's garage to make it like a little apartment for my parents. And so my dad was still there in that little area of the house, and like a little in-law suite. And my sister and her husband were going to go to Europe for, I think it was for their 25th wedding anniversary, like celebration. So they planned a trip over there, and they were like, we'll send dad out to you.
Because your mom had just passed.
My mom had already passed away. Yeah, it was like about
Okay.
11 months after my mom had passed away. So
Okay.
my dad came out here for me to kind of babysit him, so to speak.
Yeah.
He was hysterical. I mean, he was just so funny. He would, buy anything on TV. They have those commercials,
Yeah.
Oh, we need this Tupperware. We need the air fryer. Call this number. Here's my credit card. So yeah, somebody needed to watch him. So I'm sure there's a lot of women out there like me who you have a parent that now you're becoming the parent. So,
you don't need another this. You don't need that.
Dad, you don't need it. No, you don't need it. You're fine. We're fine. We don't need any more Tupperware.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So he came out here. We had a great time, great visit. I was through my treatments. I was through my chemo at that point and stuff. So it was really nice. And I said, while you're out here, Dad, why don't we go to St. Louis? That's where he had grown up. My dad had emigrated from Austria during the war. My dad's Jewish. He had emigrated during the war. He was 2 years old with his parents. They were on the last train that got out of Austria.
You have to explain this. This is like the Holocaust stuff. And they got out the last chance.
I'm not kidding. Like, it's such a miracle that my grandmother, who was she waited in lines. I mean, days upon days to get the visa, to get the passports. It was so many hoops to jump through to pay for it twice, your visas, because she paid for it. Then she went back to get them. And they're like, oh, you have to pay for them. Like, you got to pay
what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so my dad came here. Anyway, all that to say, so then
took him to St. Louis.
So he grew up in St. Louis, is where he and his parents lived. And so when he was out here in Kentucky, St. Louis is like 4 hours away. So I was like, Dad, why don't we go to St. Louis? You can show me around, like where you grew up, show me your high school. We'd never been there together. And so we drove out there. It was October 16th. We drove out, had a great evening. And then
you guys went to dinner.
Yep. Everything was great. I mean, he was 80. It's not like he was aging up, he had Alzheimer's, but he passed away in the hotel that first evening that we were out there, which was beyond shocking, to say the least. I just, on the one hand, like, I'm really thankful that happened with me, as hard as it was, in the sense that, like, my older sister, my parents were living with her. My mom passed away, which we knew my mom was going downhill so fast. We knew she was passing away. With my dad, I did not know that was happening that evening, but I'm glad that it was me, and that my older sister, didn't have to carry the brunt of both of my parents passing away with her.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I know it sounds crazy, but
no, that's a very selfless thing you're saying.
I just, it was to say the least, it was hard. And I had the most wonderful dad. I can't tell you. He's the voice that I hear in my head. It says, Debbie, you can do it. You can do it, Debbie. Put your mind to it. I know you can do it. I believe in you. I mean, that's the voice I hear, because that's what he always said. He was always so encouraging to everybody. So anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, now I'm crying. I'm sorry.
I know. I'm sorry. I have this.
No, but I mean, it's life, right?
Talent of doing this. Yeah.
We're all, we're going to lose our parents. We're going to lose people we love. If we don't have parents, you're going to, you're going to lose people you love. And it's just part of life. But I'm so
Death
grateful.
is part of life.
It's part of life. And I'm so thankful that I can grieve with hope. Like, I know I will see my dad again. My dad came to know Christ as the Messiah when he was in high school. My dad became a pastor. I mean, he was a Jewish minister. Like, it's like oxymoron, right? Like jumbo shrimp. Like, how can that be? Right. But like, I grew up in a house where we celebrated Hanukkah and we had Christmas, like I had a bat mitzvah and I went to Christian school. Like, I had both. But that's what the Bible is. It's, the Old Testament is, you can read about our Jewish traditions and the Israelites, but.
And you used to go out on the streets during the summer and do what?
And we'd tell people, we'd pass out tracts and in New York City. Yep. I had a lot of good times. of
Nice.
sharing God's love, and that we can have eternal life in his son, period. So anyway, all that to say, I am so thankful that I can grieve with hope. Like, I know I will see my parents again. I know, like, I have no doubt. And so as much as I miss them, there is such hope.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. So that happened. And now you go back home. You drive 4 hours now alone back home.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's something I can't even imagine having to process like that. And then what? That was October, right? So now you go through November.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, then November was a year for my mom passing away. And yeah, I just, kind of numbed out, just, I mean, nobody would know. Nobody knew that I was struggling with alcohol. Like, I I was functioning completely
Right.
fine. Like, I have a business. I was showing up for meetings on time. Like, it wasn't like I was like, people would be like, what's going, there wasn't anything.
Right.
It just, in my own head, I was thinking about wine so much more than I ever did. And it was because it
Right.
was helping me, I thought it was helping me get through hard things. But
And then you said on December 31st, because that's like, everybody's
yeah,
like, oh,
2020. Yeah.
well,
So
here we
2020
go.
happened. Yeah. Here we go into the
Yeah.
pandemic. And I remember thinking, like, everybody's running around to get toilet paper and Clorox wipes, or, everything. And I was like, as long as I have wine in this house, I will be
Yeah.
fine. We're
So many
all in the
people
house.
had a
I'm like,
problem with that.
yeah. So I was,
Huge
yeah,
wine sales.
huge wine
Huge.
sales. Yeah. And none of the liquor stores closed, right? I mean, everything else is closed. Like, my
And we
friends,
call
small
that
businesses.
essential.
Yeah, it's insane. It's so insane. But so yeah, at the end of 2020, I was just like, okay, I've had enough. Like, I cannot live like this. So yeah, it was December 31st, 2020 was my first day completely free from alcohol. And I didn't think I would make it to day 2.
So with that in
So,
mind, how did you deal with that? And what did you do that brought you to where you are, sharing all this information? And now you're doing deals
oh,
with different companies. And it's just so cool.
yeah, sometimes. I mean, there's tons of different sober curious programs. So I would just encourage whoever is listening, if you're wondering about your relationship with alcohol, I would just encourage you to follow. That was how I started, I started following people on Instagram who were, I was sober curious. I was just curious
Mhm.
about it. There was a lady that I followed. She lives in England, and she's just a normal mom. Like, she doesn't have a sober program or anything. And I just remember being like so amazed. Like, she was so out, she kind of was sober out loud. And I had never really, there's a huge sober community on Instagram. So I would just encourage anybody to plug into something, find a community, find a group to plug into. So I've plugged into different groups and stuff, and that has been very, very helpful, to say the least. Just to have that connection, and to have somebody
Right.
that you can talk to about, I'm struggling, or, I mean, there's still days where I would like to pour a glass of wine, I would like to numb out from hard times,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Absolutely. I get
But
that.
yeah, on about day 10, about day 10 of being alcohol free, I was like, I needed like a creative outlet to share the alcohol free drinks that I was finding, because I needed those replacements. It was like, I could not just say, I'm only gonna drink coffee and water and not and
Right.
give up my wine. I wanted something to replace it with. So I started my
Plus, you
Instagram
have all the
handle.
glasses, right? I have all the
Yeah,
glasses.
exactly. That's right. That's right. I have all this glassware. Let's use it. So yeah, so on January 9th, 2021 is when I started mocktail.mom, my Instagram, and just started almost as therapy for me to like put it out there. Like, there's all these drinks and things that I was finding. And anyway, so yeah, so it's just kind of grown a little bit from there. And
Oh, a
mostly
little bit.
it's just been so fun. It's been so fun.
But you told
Seriously.
me you didn't really have an Instagram presence or knew much about it when you started,
No, I didn't know
right?
anything. No, I started the account. Like, I didn't, yeah, no.
And you just said, I'm going to just do this. Did you have any expectations of what would happen?
Um, no, I mean,
It was just an outlet for
it
you.
was really,
And if
yeah,
somebody wanted to jump in,
nobody was
you
I
wanted to
mean, no,
support
I
them.
mean, I was literally making videos of me making like, drinks and stuff. Nobody was watching. I mean, it was literally just I was making them for people as if they would watch maybe, but I mean, I had like, I don't know. I remember my very first follower was Teetotaler Wines. So there's a good one for you to try is it's an alcohol-free wine. She's out of Canada. She was my very first follower. And I'll never forget. I was like,
Isn't that interesting?
who's following me? Who knows? Because I didn't tell my husband I was taking a break from alcohol. I was like, anybody in my real life, nobody knew. I just didn't, because I didn't want the judgment. I was like, number one, I didn't want anybody to think I had a problem. Because I was at that place where it was like, you're either an alcoholic or you can drink. And there's no place in between. And what I've learned now is there's a huge place in between. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to label yourself as anything to evaluate your relationship with alcohol or take a break or say goodbye to it,
Right.
So yeah, sorry. So yeah, Teetotaler Wines is a good one to try. They were my first follower. So yeah, it was for me. And now it's still for me. It helps me so much. I get so many messages from people who, find a good drink or encourage. I mean, I don't share about anything that I don't genuinely love, period. I mean, I'll have companies send me stuff and like, if I don't like it, I would hope that everybody would be that way, but I know that's not how it works. But yeah, if I love it, I love to share it because I want other people to know there are so many alcohol-free options. You do not have to drink alcohol to have something good to drink or to have fun.
That's awesome. And so you started out with the one follower. Now you're at what? I didn't look recently.
Right now, I think it's like 3,500 or so. So I mean,
I think that's amazing because I started with 0 a year ago and I have like 540 something. And to me, I look at people like you and I'm like, oh, that's not very good. But to me, it's like,
just have fun. Yeah. And there's no, you can't compare that's the thief of all joy and all,
you're right.
You know what I mean? Like that's just the thief of everything is that comparison game. And unfortunately, I think social media just, kind of puts that on us so much.
It makes you do it.
Yeah. I just been having a great time.
And what happened? So how did these companies found you and how does that work? They just say, hey, we see you on Instagram. Are they thinking that you can help them promote their alcohol-free products?
I mean, sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll have companies send me stuff to try and then we'll promote it. Like I just had on Monday night, because I do a live every Monday night. I do a live. Sometimes we'll do lives in between and stuff, but I have a scheduled Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time live where I make a mocktail. I call it Making Friends and Mocktails. And it's just to make a friend, connect with somebody live on Instagram, and to make a drink together, make an alcohol-free drink. And so this last Monday I had all the bitter on. So they're one of the first alcohol-free bitters companies. So if anybody's looking for bitters that have no alcohol in them, all the bitter. And yeah, like right before we went live, he gave a code Mocktail Mom 15. He's like, if anybody uses Mocktail Mom 15, you'll get 15% off. So like, I don't get anything from that, but I love their products and it helps them grow. And they're a small mom and pop company. And then there's other companies that like have affiliate deals and stuff like that. So I like that kind of, sure.
Why not? Why not? And in the end, you're serving others and you're spreading this idea and you're sharing that, hey, you can be sober free and still enjoy holding the pretty glass with the liquid inside. And some of them are really good.
Oh no, some of them, Wendy, are amazing.
Yeah.
Have you tried Sweet Haven tonics?
No.
Okay. Code is Mocktail Mom. They'll give you 15% off. They are amazing. It's like the easy button. I had her on, when was it? 2-3 weeks ago, maybe. They're little tonics. She hand makes them. They're handcrafted in Minnesota. She like peels all the stuff, chops the paste, like amazing. They taste delicious. And it's like the easy button because all you do is add some soda water to it. It tastes like a cocktail. Like you would think 100% like somebody's just handed you a cocktail at a restaurant. And all it is like, it's like an ounce of her tonic or maybe a little less. And then like 4 ounces of sparkling water. Amazing. They're delicious. Anyway,
I'll have to try that.
So like her, for example, she reached out to me, I guess it was December, and said, can I send you a sample of the products? And that was how it started, was just, can I send you a sample of the products to try? And I was like, sure. And if I like them, I'd be happy to talk about them. And I genuinely was happy to talk about them. Yeah.
Yeah. I love doing that. I love connecting people with things that I love. Cause if I feel like if it works,
if you love it,
me.
Yes. No, whether it's that little thing that takes the hair off my face, what's that thing called? Whatever, I'll share it, like you want to share what you love. Yeah. What's working. Yes. So I want people to be able to hit the easy button on alcohol-free drinks that taste good.
So you have not had alcohol now on just because you choose not to. It's not for any
Correct.
other reason now.
Correct.
How many days is it now?
I think today's 396, I think. But and again, the only reason I count is just like I have this little calendar where I put stickers on. And so I kind of have been counting. I literally look like a little kindergartner. Like I have little like, good job, well done. Wow. I mean, I have these little stickers from the
That's so
Michaels.
cute.
But I count not because it's like drudgery or whatever, but to me, it's like it's so exciting. Like I look at that number and I'm like, I'm almost at 400 days. 400 days when I literally didn't think I was going to make it to the first weekend. I didn't think I was going to make it. I thought, how can you live without alcohol? Anyway,
That's amazing.
yeah.
That
So
is it.
life
That's
is good. I want people to know you can still have fun and still have, wonderful things to drink, and your life is only going to get better. Like nothing bad has come from my life since I gave up alcohol. Nothing, only positive things. Everything's better. So
But that doesn't mean that, do you think someday, like maybe when your daughter gets married or there's an event, do you think you'll have,
maybe
you haven't said,
yeah, I'm answering you. I feel like I knew you were gonna ask. Yes.
yeah, no, I'm
I haven't said like never, ever, 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 I think for me at this point in my life, I feel like a switch has gone off where it's like, I'm like, I don't know that I can just have a drink, like
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
where like
Yeah.
10 years ago before alcohol had a bigger part in my life, like I could have had a drink and it didn't matter to me. So I don't know, maybe I will, or maybe I'll just bring my no secco, or
No
we'll serve,
secco.
you know what I mean? Or we'll
Yeah.
serve Shirley, or we'll serve Joyous. I mean, there's so many good alcohol-free wines that are available. So,
And
yeah,
we'll
so I don't
put
know.
some of those in our show notes for
Oh yeah,
people
for
who want to
sure.
give it a whirl.
Yeah. And I have on my website, I think it's on there where like you can get like a download, and it has some of the alcohol-free wines that I like. I mean, there's some that are
So you have a website.
mocktailmom.com.
It is your website. Oh,
mocktailmom.com. Yeah. Yeah. And I have a little subscription box. So like we're doing that like every quarter. So I just did my first one. It was so fun because I sent out the box with mocktail ingredients in there. And then I had an event where if people wanted to join on Zoom, we made some mocktails together and just kind of had a place to connect. So it's more than a box. It's actually it's the box and the experience of having mocktails together. So,
I
or
love
call
that.
them alcohol-free drinks, whatever you want to call them. Some people don't like the word mocktails. Doesn't
I
matter
think
to me.
that I wanted to say that I think it's interesting that you're like, I'm not so sure I want to go there with the actual alcoholic beverage. And I totally get that because I was like, I'm out to this dinner with my husband and I'm paying $32 for whatever this entree is. I would like to have a nice Sauvignon Blanc with that.
Sure.
Like, one's not going to kill me. It's probably not good with all the
Right, no,
medication I'm
but
on
yeah,
for Lyme,
but
but I'm
right,
like, let me just
right.
try it.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, when I was done, I'm like, why did I even bother?
Oh, yeah. Because
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I totally know. Yeah. So I'm like, for
Now
me,
I
I'm like,
have
it's
this
not worth
guilt.
it. Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. You don't need to have guilt, but yeah, just start over,
I had to apologize to my liver. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, I'm
Yeah. Well,
really sorry.
I had to write a big sorry apology note to my liver. Yeah.
Yeah. And like,
Yeah.
you're on all this medication. I just threw this into the mix. Please forgive me.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
just,
Yeah.
it's very interesting that you said that. And
Yeah.
I think that's important for people to dial into really understanding how they feel.
Totally. And for everybody,
and
it's
where they're
different.
gonna
Like
go.
I have no judgment for somebody who can drink or is drinking or has taken a break for 3 years and then decides to drink at a wedding
Yeah.
or at a dinner, whatever. Like no judgment. I mean, I just know for me, I'm like right now, I don't for today, no, and I don't know about tomorrow. I don't know.
I love
but
that.
I'm
And
open.
why
Like,
do we have to put a period at the end of it?
Yeah.
We
I
don't
agree.
have to.
No, I agree. I think you're right. Yeah, I think
So
you're right.
I know your time is valuable. You've got lots of stuff to do. If there's
Oh, yeah.
one lesson
Take my
that
daughter
you've
to the
learned,
orthodontist. Yes.
oh, that's so much fun.
Yes. But let's close because I got to go pick her up. Yeah.
Yes, got you. So
the mom life.
the mom life. So tell me, is there one thing that you've learned throughout this process that you would like to share with us? What would that be?
For me, just in terms of like my relationship with alcohol and stuff, the one thing that I want people to know, if anybody is struggling, is that you are not alone. That if you are the mom who you are thinking about wine too much or more than you ever did, or it's helping you get through life, you are not alone. Like there are thousands if not millions, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of women who are going through the exact same thing. And you do not have to suffer alone. And there is hope for a much better life, whether it's putting alcohol as a smaller place in your life or no place in your life, zero place, whatever it is. There is definitely hope that your life does not have to be on that detox to retox loop. It's a crazy loop of let me drink some green juice in the morning. And then, by 5 o'clock, I'm pouring the Chardonnay. And yeah, the crazy train can end. The mommy wine
like
culture.
You said, it's community. Find your village.
Find your community. There's so many great groups, so many,
Yeah.
it's endless. So yeah. So, and if anybody has there's anything I can do to help anybody, my DMs are open at mocktail.mom. And I'm happy to answer questions or.
You do answer.
I mean,
That is
I genuinely I am so grateful. It helps me to help other people.
So is that, what would you
Find
say?
a way.
What keeps you going every day?
It's just fun. I mean, it's just fun. I just want my life to make a difference. I don't want to just go through life and not make an impact. I'm a small little pebble, right? But each of us, if we can make ripples in the pond, right? The lake, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? I
Yes,
just
I
want my
do.
life to make a difference. So yeah, just like you are with your podcast, like everything that you're doing, you want your life to make a difference.
Right.
We have a very short window of time, and I spent many years numbing out, and I didn't need to. So,
Deb, thank you so much. Yeah.
thank you.
We're all here to serve others, and you're doing a huge service to a growing problem. It's growing, not decreasing.
Yeah,
but maybe with,
Yep.
with more interviews with people like you and all the selfless work that you're doing and the time it takes to do it. I mean, it's just such a gift you're giving everyone.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you.
I
Thank
really
you so much for having me. I'm
appreciate
sorry that I look like a air traffic controller in my kitchen. But this headphone set helps with the sound. So I don't know if you're putting the recording anywhere, but if you are,
Yes, we
I
are.
apologize,
Girl.
people. I am not a air traffic controller.
No, you look like a fun hip hop, totally timely kind of gal. Let's go make a cocktail kind of gal.
Let's make a cocktail.
Let's go.
Yes, let's go. Wendy, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for asking me to do this with you. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. We're BFFs now.
Big time cheers to you. Yes.
Yes. And until next time, breathe in your second wind. Thank you for listening today. I hope that something you heard made you smile, made you think, and made you feel. If these incredible stories empowered you, awakened you, or left you feeling inspired, make sure to share with a friend and write us a review on iTunes so we can continue to change lives through this content. Make sure you tag us while you're listening on our Facebook group, My Second Wind, or hit the link in the show notes to join the conversation. Until next time, go ahead and breathe in your second wind.